afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 versus 1 on Langres. Yes, indeed, Langres. We shall be watching Helpinghans versus Jolle, or Jolle, which is a very small boat here in Denmark. But we shall be watching Jolle fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 2nd Armoured Division, holding out against Helpinghans from the 352nd Infantry Division. We are seeing a bit there, barracks going up, 2 engineers done up from Jolle. From Hans, we are seeing a 2 pioneers at their quarters, being severely focused on by the pioneers, definitely working to get that concrete bunker down out of nowhere. And we are already seeing here that Hans is intending to focus right here on this part of the map. This section of the map is going to be Hans's initial focus, whereas Jolle is a bit more opening up towards here, and here's a bit of a broader approach from Jolle. Wehrmacht quarters might soon have some photographs out of could be an MG. We are seeing rifle on the way here from our American friend, our friend. Pioneer sneaking up there, and the MG42's done up there from Hans. What you usually see amongst higher ranking players like Hans, they use the MG42 to sort of initially sneak forward, so they will secondly get a bike out to actually provide line of sight, so they don't risk rushing their MG42 into something nasty and American. In this case, establishing a small forward positions ready to delay any American advances, while he's most likely waiting for a bike. Although, if it was a bike, no, there we go. Die Krautschütze bist bereit, ready to move forwards. By the later stage of the Second World War, they seem to be generally be part of more of infantry divisions rather than Panzer and Panzer Grenadier units, from what I can somewhat determine. But there we go, rushing ahead. Rifleman squad pushed ahead, and in fact off the field. Nice combination again there of the bike and the MG42 is slightly more mobile and also cheaper than getting a full gun score. And the MG, so some players again like to use that since they can then actually much quicker and cheaper actually get an effective and aggressive MG42 out in the field within the first few minutes. In this case, this is what Helpinghans took advantage of right here, although we do see quickly Jolle regrouping, making ready for another push. And of course another slight weakness with this is, although you can very much risk getting overwhelmed, and then again it's also where the bike is vital to ensure you keep an eye on the opponent's movement so you don't get any nasty surprises. Right there we do see one rifle squad coming under fire from the MG42. Bullets firing away, and there we go. Engineer's going to hit the flank. MG actually, not entirely sure if that's a good move by Hans. It sets up to cover up the other flank, but again we do have the engineers. Bike moves in, pioneers holding up there, but the other rifle squad pushes in, and there's nothing to cover that flank. And there we go. We do see the slight problem with the approach right there from Hans. Aggressive, bold, but again a good flank can easily push him up. There go. Hans has been forced away from the front line. There's only a bike now and a full squad to hold it all, and there are considerably larger American forces moving in against his Deutsches Infantry, so a bit of a problem right there in the initial moments of Hans' fight. And there we go, we do quickly see him retreating, realizing he cannot hold that point and he'd rather preserve his Grenadiers. So nice move there, and we also quickly see Jolle also, really swiftly, without delay, just mining ahead. He's already pushed off Hans. What does he do? He does not bother with sneaking about too much either. He's just beginning to mine. He realizes perhaps this is not so well. Instead he mines this spot, which is a good spot. And it's already setting up for the fact that he's probably aware that Hans is going to push him away. So what can he do then? He can actually make it painful for Hans to advance his way. Much more painful with hidden mines. We are seeing a 2 MG now up for Hans to support his full squad and the bike. Hans is really relying on just being able to plonk down as many bullets in the direction of his opponent within the first few minutes. A more slow approach from Hans. Rifleman's taking up position in that old barn, going to delay, and definitely going to have some protection against the MG42, really making it harder for Hans to advance up there. I would rather prefer some more full squads initially out from Hansi. Nation point being secure there. Hans hanging at the top, holding most of the map. And Jolle is just making really good advances all across the line. Not really taking terrible losses either. This is really going well for him. And again, the slight approach here from Hans rather has initially curtailed him a bit, hampered a bit, if not other things. Rifleman pushing up there, though. Pushing forwards with the bike and the Volks Grenadiers. The MG might want... I'm not entirely sure why he's keeping this one up there. He's worried that there might be a full flanking assault to hit that MG. I'd rather think he should try and pushing up here because again now we do see the Volkskriegs right there getting pushed off. Not so good. At the same time over here, Pioneers and Engineers fighting. Looks like the Pioneers could maybe win this fight against the Engineers. Or will the Engineers? Looks like they will in fact win. And there go MGs shifting about. Rifleman coming under fire there, moving away. And Rifleman hitting up to sneak in there. Good, good. Jolle shifting about constantly again. Also note just so much territory already in the first few minutes. Although now Hans's machine guns are getting a bit more bold, a bit more aggressive. Hans doing his best to wire off this bit of the map. Doesn't want any Americans sneaking up there. And we're seeing a sniper. Now this is an interesting approach from Hans. We're seeing two MGs bike, Volkskriegs, and then a sniper out for him. Now, never mind, then we're actually seeing two Volkskriegs. A bit of a heavier build, not quite the two Volkskriegs MG sniper, which is a bit weak on the flanks. But this one can hold things a bit better, but at the same time it's not fully aggressive, in particular with the sort of current map control there is, or map situation. He needs to be a bit careful since he could very easily risk getting pushed off, and now the sniper is very much exposed over here, trying to take back the fuel. Things are not exactly looking good for Helpinghans of the 352nd. Munitions being secured there, Rifleman hiding behind the hedgerows, and a jeep coming out there from Jolle, going to try and hunt down that damn Kraut sniper.
Sector being captured.
Engineers taking a few shots by operating here a bit on the flank. Jolle really having some good work here on the flanks, taking away, forcing Hans against sort of basically establishing all around defense, making it a bit harder for him to also make a focus towards building up, because then he risks, being hit somewhere else. Hans needs to begin establishing a front line that can provide him with a bit better protection and actually shorten down the amount of possibilities for Jolle to basically push through. Pushing up their back, rushing around. Sniper nearby, and a large push up there, Jolle on the right. BAR soon on the way to increase their firepower, and smaller force going up there. Although we do see an MG closing that up. Oh, and a mine went off there. Nice bit of damage to Jolle's men. We also see Hans actually mining. That's good. Pioneers getting pushed away there. Slow, short advance, using the buildings, leapfrogging. Rifling the heading a mine, taking some nasty damage. Keep coming under fire, slight retreat there. Some initial pushes. Jolle looks to me at the moment making some advance, but at the same time he's probing Hans's defenses. He's wondering, where can I strike and do the most damage without suffering the most? And right there we do see some nice damage. We do see the sniper again doing his best to basically increase attrition on Hans's forces. And meanwhile pushing up here, coming under fire from one MG42. Getting suppressed, taking losses. Another engineer squad moves out there, not fully up. Reinforcement for that matter, not upgraded at all. Quickly pushed away. And hits the mine, getting lost. Rifling up here, getting suppressed. Bike behind everything. Might try and hunt down Hans's sniper. There's nothing in the base. The sniper is here, all safely nestled between so many Wehrmacht machine guns and other fun things. And the jeep goes down as well. That could easily be sandwiched right there by Hans for additional munitions. Rifleman pulling up there, not intent on remaining inside that French farmhouse. A few, of course, becoming targets for the sniper. So Hans has bought himself some respite, but will he be able to actually take advantage of the damage he's done to Jolle? Knocking out an engineer squad and a jeep, and we're already immediately seeing a supply going up for the Americans of the 2nd Armoured. Oh dear, mine went off, almost clearing out the MG squad and taking out the bike. Oh dear, Jolle's mining is definitely paying off right there. And again, you should always send infantry ahead of support units, although we do now see Hans having the minesweepers up, but that was definitely a nasty surprise. And we do see Hans coming with the response to Americans pushing the BAR initially. That is going for the Sturm Army, going to get some armoured cars to shoot down those Yankees. Of course, another one would be basically just get a medic bank, and that way, help a bit with infantry losses. Of course, question is, what will Jolle get next? What shall be his next move in the face of Wehrmacht opposition? Further wiring going up there to try and again conceal the flanks, or at least cover them. Well, not conceal, but protect, shield, mask, if you will. Raven here trying to sneak in, and one man peeks a bit too far and gets punished with a bullet to the head. There we go again, pushing into the house, getting off a nice flank position from German infantry. Really good use of buildings by Jolle. And there we go, Rifle Squad going to flank up here, really far, deep flank, and Jolle really seem to find each there. Go pushing up here on the other one, having advanced with an engineer squad with a minesweeper just in case Hans has mined. Lovely there, MG sending him out, but getting overwhelmed, and we are in fact seeing once more an excellent, well-executed assault from Jolle, pushing Hans completely off the field. And again, note, Rifle Squad here takes a few losses, but again, note how quickly Jolle just begins mining, and I mean really mining, not just a mine here, but mines, hopefully a few more mines everywhere. And again, it's just there to ensure that when Hans then pushes up, because he knows he probably can't hold this very well for much longer, but again, when Hans then makes the advance, he's likely going to hit a few mines, although at the same time in the minesweeper there's it's a lot more likely that the overall casualties will begin to minimize and the overall gain on mines will decrease. Sturm Armory lighting up. Volkskriegs might set off the mine, but no, there's a small breach in the fence, allowing for the Volkskriegs to advance. MG moving up, setting up to support the German advance. The MG-42 quite vital in German tactics, although for the infantry squads it tends to be more the light machine gun. The heavy machine guns are more there for defensive efforts. But still, of course, you know, quite useful as well. Usually there'll be about 2 per company, I believe, in their own platoon, alongside a few mortars.
Begin armored operations.
The larger number tend to be, you know, again, light machine guns, 1 per infantry squad. So there we go, the first heavy armored car rolling up, probably sent in by the 2nd Panzer Division to provide some additional heavier reconnaissance. Points being secure there. Was actually planned from in the beginning of the war. Much heavier, and only actually in the later stage of the war did you actually see any sort of upgrades for it, any variations on it, which tend to be one year the more known Puma, but also some actually added in either gun, like basically the... got the MG again! And the armored car, again, nasty mining right there from Jolle, definitely paying off. And Hans has not been sweeping. Tisk, Hans. Tisk. And it's actually time to have a look at Hans. But I mean, there was the Puma, there was the, well, basically the cannon upgrade, and there was also a Pak 40 variant of it. So, you know, a bit of fun there. Stormtroopers arriving, a bit more of tougher infantry for the Reich. And they are quite solid infantry, in fact, some of the best infantry in the game. Question is just how will Hans utilize them. And there we go, we actually see a tank depots up. We're seeing a tank destroyer rolling out for Jolle, going to take on any armored cars, and we do see Hans is in fact defenseless against a tank destroyer. He's absolutely no anti-tank assets. And there we go, combat engineers rushing straight into the stormtroopers. Stormtroopers quickly dropping several of those engineers. Holding up for the Reich. No veterans yet for Hans's units. Rifle moving in, going to hit a mine from Hans, and there we go, getting pinned. Other units going there, going for the cutoff point. Really great aggression from Jolle against Helpinghans. Troops getting sniped. Hans pushing up. Stug on the way to provide some more armored support against tank destroyers, and for that matter, any armor that might actually arrive from Jolle. Because that armored car will be very, very susceptible to getting knocked out by that tank destroyer. And there go, repairs immediately being effected on it. A Panzerfaust could help a bit against the tank destroyer. Still some time before the Stug. Volkskriegs getting absolutely crushed beneath the treads. That was just several Volkskriegs, in fact almost an entire squad got wiped out beneath those treads. That is just nasty. Armor coming over here, rifle going for the munitions. Again, the pressure on Hans is just incredible, and Hans is just having trouble actually pushing out. He needs to be a bit more aggressive, and again trying to force a smaller front line, something he can easily hold. Stormtroopers at the front line again, and there we go, Sturmgeschützwehr. Technically not what the 352nd had in their tank destroyer company, which was equipped with Stugs. That's a bit of an exception. Nope, that would have been Stug 3Gs. The 17th SS actually had Stug 4s. And the Stug 4 was basically an interim attempt, basically because the factories producing the Stug 3 had been bombed. And so to make up for that production, because the Stug was quite vital to German war efforts, they actually converted some Panzer IV production facilities over to producing Stugs. But of course, it was easy to make then the Stug 4, otherwise again they'd have to really retool the entire thing. It also never quite, gained some of all the advantages the Stug had besides the size. It also, the later Stug 3Gs managed to gain coaxial machine guns and remote control ones on the top. Stug 4 never quite managed that. Tank destroyer rolling out. More mines from Jolle. I mean, absolutely amazing just to see him so constantly mine. And we're seeing a single pan strike on the stormtroopers. Rifle getting stopped there. Sniper opening up. Sniper definitely proving his worth to Helpinghans. Tank destroyer moving up on the flank. Stug opening up, getting off a nice hit. Panzer strike, and there we go. Tank destroyer could go down. Will Hans be able to delay down death upon it? Rifle going though for the fuel, the vital fuel, the precious fuel. Stug needs to be careful. There's not a lot of infantry support from it. And the stormtroopers are not really strong to really go up against infantry at the moment. They are so low on health. And we are finally seeing Hans also diverting some forces towards a bit of harassment on the flank. Hans needs to break out. He needs to divert resources away from Jolle, and he also needs to spread out Jolle's forces a bit. A bit of quiet. Kriegbear is going up, so Hans is actually taking backwards. Likely going to get a pack. Instead of just, I don't know, getting another Stug, which I think might work a bit better. Pioneers pushed off there. They made a slight gain and then pushed off. But the sniper dude quickly moves in to punish the American invaders. Rifleman sneaking up there. Stug coming under fire, but of course not able to do much. Volksguns holding up there, but just barely. And we are seeing Hans shifting most of his forces from the center towards the east. Obviously, the stormtroopers have apparently been equipped with a medic pack, which definitely will help them. Rifleman quickly into the building. Armored car dealing with the rifleman up there. Pressure is high. Hans is constantly being attacked. Jolle is constantly testing Hans' will to fight. Tank destroyer somewhat repaired. Sniper. Oh, sniper running to Bronk running. Oh, mine went off. Mine might have saved him. Yes, indeed. Die Minen saved Hans. Bloody close, and there we go. Panzer Abwehrkanone on the way. Tank destroyers pulling back. There's still two, which could be a problem for the Stug. But Hans making a push. Stormtrooper supporting. MG following up. A few Volksgunners might also prove beneficial, but Hans just needs to keep up some pressure. He's beaten back his opponent. In fact, Jolle is back at his base, and Hans is not really advancing. He's not trying to push any sort of advantage at the moment, which could prove to be quite detrimental, as it will allow Jolle to quickly regain forces without losing territory, without losing resources, and without having to, of course, give up any to Hans. Also note here, observation post, which could indicate that Hans might be then proceeding to go for the right-hand side of the Blitzkrieg Doctrine. He might go for a manpower blitz, and thus, right here, this is actually signaling he's going to be pushing very heavily for a lot of munitions to pull that off. Mines going down, though. Of course, could also work nicely with mines. I mean, always good with more munitions. There we go. Pioneers were actually stopped in their endeavour. Rifleman coming out of fire from the Stug. Armor car pulling up. Quickly dropping a few engineers with a few well-placed autocannon shots. Engineer drops an... well, sniper drops an engineer, not the other way around. And we see a Sherman out from Jolle, an M4 Sherman running up. We're seeing the tank destroyer supporting up where the stormtroopers will be the Panzerschrecks. The Panzerschrecks are right there. Stug without support. The pack needs to quickly just turn about and fire. Stug taking heavy damage. Quickly pulls up, pack fires away. Of course, Sherman says it's about flanking MG, and we're seeing Allied War Machine up. We're seeing Armoured Division up from Jolle, and the second armor tank destroyer keeps fanning away. One tank destroyed. Armor car's quickly going to get replaced. Stormtroopers fanning away. Pack trying to move about, but having trouble. Stug could go down. Stormtroopers pushed away. Other Stormtroopers squad upgrading with a Panzerschreck, and Stug goes out of control. If only he'd managed perhaps Veterans 1, it might have had a slight chance of surviving, but without it, it's considerably vulnerable to tank destroyers. Sherman into a bit of a problem. Volksgunners might try and get off a Panzer 1000 on that tank destroyer. MG here getting overwhelmed by Rifleman. Jolle's assault is just pushing in. There we go. Allied War Machine providing more bits. Troops getting murdered by the armored car. Stormtroopers get the punch. Oh dear. Armored car went down. And Hans once more finds his front line absolutely smashed. Not good at all. Like a tiny Operation Back Ration on the Western Front, he finds himself outmaneuvered and his forces destroyed in detail. Now that is not good. I mean, Jolle suffered some losses as well. It's not that, but ultimately Hans was a bit more brutalized. And again, Jolle is holding most of the map. Hans is not. And I imagine, I mean, that Sherman's still alive. In fact, probably close to Veterans Who Won. Pack rushing forwards. Hans just needs to quickly advance. Needs to quickly salvage everything here for munitions, for that matter, to build up. He needs to begin taking also some points. So rather dangerous situation for Hansi. Jolle is doing better, although I mean he certainly suffered a bit. Advancing up here, coming under fire from stormtroopers held up inside the building, getting off a few good shots and reducing the rifle driving, and we're seeing grenades up for Jolle. Hans' stormtroopers quickly abandoning the building and do largely get out of safety, but a grenade goes off in the MG, clearing it out. Oh dear. That's definitely bad news. Another Stug rolling up. Pioneers pushing up again. Salvage, salvage, salvage. Scavenge, whatever. Looks like Jolly's intending to add in the Calliope to provide some artillery support. And there we go. The Calliope rolls forwards. MG has been recruited, and now looks like Hans is actually making an advance now. Of course, one thing that Hans could consider, you know, after having salvaged all of this, but if not going for the manpower blitzes initially, is actually getting some assault rifles for his stormtroopers, increase their firepower against American infantry, make them that much more lethal, giving them that much more of a chance of basically just cutting down Jolly's infantry without Jolly's infantry having much of a chance of actually doing a lot of damage back. I mean, a lot of players do tend to forget, you know, about stormtroopers having assault rifles, and again, with a bit of veterans in particular, they become quite nasty. And actually, currently, Hans is very short on it. In fact, he has nothing, which is definitely not helping him. Definitely not helping. But at least he's salvaging for munitions, but again, he needs some veterans here, and he needs some Sturmgewehrs, I think, for his stormtroopers. Possibly also some MP40s for at least one squad of Volksgrenadiers. Increase the overall firepower. Try to take the fight to Jolly's infantry and really try to pressure him there. There go rockets going in. Stormtroopers inside the house getting bombarded, forced out of the premises. And there we go. Almost everything has been scavenged. Just a tank destroyer and a Stug there. Kampfkraftcenter is bereit. And a Goliath. Goliath for Hansi. I'm not entirely sure I'd recommend that. I think he needs some assault rifles for stormtroopers. He needs something, you know, to increase the firepower against infantry and to just basically be able to, you know, quickly overpower them if properly used. Folks goes quickly into the barn in front of the farmhouse. Finally also seeing some efforts again in the western flank. We are seeing Jolle leading with this Sherman. Troops reinforcing. Goliath hiding over there. Nation secured, a bit quiet. Central victory point. In fact, Hans currently has the victory point advantage, which is definitely something. It looks like Jolle is worried about Hans having mine, and apparently he's hoping to set off the mines with a few high explosive shells. Bit of quiet, tanks just rolling into it. One side, and there we go. Jolly's pushing an assault up the center, while Hans is diverting most of his force towards the right flank. Oh dear, leaving the center quite open, quite exposed. In fact, the Stug is quite vulnerable to simply getting enveloped. Although we do see the pack now setting up to defend this area, but still not much of a defensive belt. The Hans, pushing up there. His pioneers lost. In fact, he has 3 pioneers squad at the moment. Stormtroopers fighting here still without assault rifles could allow them, in fact, to quickly overwhelm the engineers. No such thing, though, from Mr. Hansi. And we're seeing another armoured car. Still no real veterancy. We're seeing a bit of veterancy for the infantry, but nothing for the armour, nothing for the vehicles. I mean, if you're the Germans, you definitely always need veterans one for your armour. That should always be a priority. Which rather sadly this does not look like to be for Hans.
We're ready.
Sherman moving up, going to hit those Volksgrenadiers. And quickly to get lost. Hans finally, though, actually pushing forwards, trying to minimize the front, trying to minimize the amount of territory that Jolle could actually possibly attack from, which also means that Hans, can focus his forces a bit more, creating a stronger defense. Because the problem for a longer part of Hans's match here has been that, he's been fighting with an incredibly overextended front line. He's simply not have the infantry and the support weapons to actually cover it all, to defend, to hold. And a second Calliope arriving to sniper, continues to kill. 31 kills, he's definitely doing the fatherland part. In the meanwhile, finally going on here. Sticky bomb on the armored car. Hans moved a bit too close. Rifleman getting blasted, Stuke getting repaired. Still no veterancy. Rifleman sneaking over, hitting over. Stormtroopers getting spotted again. No assault rifles either. Still, I would really love to see that for Hans's troops. And more Calliope barrages. Forcing Hans away from there. Sending a lot of pioneers running, if not just dying. I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is not too happy and shiny for Hans. Again, his slight problem actually establishing a more secure front line has rather left him a bit vulnerable, and we are really seeing Jolle now pushing the advantage with several Calliopes, Germans, tank destroyers, and of course his infantry. And of course, he should simply continue doing that. He should continue initially just extending the flanks, ensuring he has a large amount of territory to attack Hans from, thus ensuring that Hans can't focus his defences, which again is what you usually want to do. And of course, also cutting resources. And then secondly, he should just basically try to conduct a pincer maneuver up here and just knock out what Hans has left. I mean, basically keep out that, and he's could easily win the match. Of course, he has to worry if Hans does get some assault rifles to a stormtrooper. He definitely needs to consider something more towards that. And for that matter, if Hans gets at least a few more Stooks with veterancy, or armored cars, or at least just some veterancy for starters, I mean, he would definitely find himself with increased resistance. And of course, he has to be careful about Hans actually launching an attack, and I think what would work best for Hans is actually he launches an attack to secure this area, because then instead of having to worry, for example, about, this sort of extended frontage, which is considerably large, he would only have to, really worry about this, and with a bit of barbed wire and some mines, he can make that a lot easier to hold, and also allow him to focus his defenses much better. The problem with this sort of front line here is, of course, is the buildings as well, which is making it very difficult for him to actually get some clear lines of fire, and allows Jolle to basically just maneuver about, sneak in, shoot here, get behind a building, and then have Hans shoot, and then move on again, shoot. It's really making it very difficult for Hans to shoot, and again, he needs to get beyond this building, he needs to get towards this open terrain, and he needs to, lock it down, which is currently not quite happening. Another method could also be to launch more direct assault up here. It secures much territory, and perhaps lure Jolle into this area with some buildings filled with Panzerschrecks and whatnot. But Hans needs to get some veterans, he needs to get some assault rifles. I think he also needs at least one more squad of infantry. Perhaps a Nebelwerfer would also help him, in fact, against Jolle's infantry, and then perhaps go for the Tiger. So perhaps help stabilize things a bit. But again, I think Hans's at this stage primary concern should be securing this area, and again locking it down, again securing a much easier and tighter front line, because again the current one he has is a mess, and again is allowing Jolle to basically sneak in wherever he wants to. So then let us return to the fight. Tank destroyer rolling up here to hit the western flank, although there's a few mines, so just be careful. Hans having a few stormtroopers hiding. Hans's vehicle and armor pool in need of repairs. The 352nd not doing too well. The 352nd also being one of the best divisions, actually holding the beaches of Normandy. The rest being what was known as Bodenständige Infantry Division, which are basically static, which also means very low quality infantry divisions, basically older men. And for that matter, Russian troops were deemed unreliable to fight on the Eastern Front. And basically equipped with whatever was left in the depots. Oh, we could see a sniper go down. That would be here. No, and Goliath goes in, but coming under fire, he might lose it without actually doing any damage. Damaged engine on the Goliath, and looks like the sniper actually went down, but the Goliath is still there, impressively enough. Stormtroopers trying to get closer to do some damage, but the German quickly sends them off. Pack sneaking up, sent here falling, but again, Bodenständige Division not strong. They were basically equipped with a bunch of equipment from France, Czechoslovakia, and Russia. Although they occasionally have also some decent German equipment. But generally not the best divisions. In theory, they were larger than most other divisions. That was partly... Oh, Stuke went out of control. Nasty hit there again, lacking veterans. He also makes them more vulnerable to Calliope's, but... that was actually part of the deal von Rundstedt made with the Führer when he was actually put in control of Western Europe for defensive purposes. He demanded that he was allowed to keep the infantry division meant to hold the beaches at the older infantry variant or strength, which basically meant they had 3 battalions. But again, that was rather rendered a bit void by the fact that again constantly they would be sapped for manpower for the Eastern Front and then have it replaced by Eastern European troops which were less motivated and such. So there were some problems right there, of course, and most of them really didn't do too well. In fact, a lot of them just quickly melted away. But we are seeing Jolle continuing the advance again. Hans having a very hard time actually holding up this sort of advance, this sort of attack. Already his centre is once more crumbling. Goliath moves up, could get the rifle squad, but oh, a bit too late, almost got it, almost, but not quite. Sherman hanging native full advance, but gets knocked out by the Goliath. Hooray for the Goliath. It was not quite intended for actually knocking out tank, and there we go, Pack actually gets a tank destroyer, leaving Jolle with only a few Calliope's, although we do see another tank destroyer, so Allied war machine was popped, but a bit too late, in fact. Pack, they will get overwhelmed, and again, Hans at the moment has very little to actually push with. Again, if only his stormtroopers had assault rifles, they could have a chance against the American infantry. Again, assault rifles are quite good for attacking. You know, that's part of the whole assault bit. And so I do feel it is a bit of a shame that Hans is not quite getting them. And it's not like he doesn't have the munitions for it. And it's also quite clear he's not going to go for something like, you know, the manpower blitz anyway. So again, at this stage, you know, getting some assault rifles for stormtroopers would probably pay off quite nicely. Never mind, he's not quite using them too well either. They're barely getting in infantry kills anyways. So a bit of a shame. Han's not quite utilising his stormtroopers to full effect, I fear. But of course, using them largely as anti-tank infantry, which again, alright, but you know, there are better matters for that. And again, I feel it's also, you know, slightly missing the full possibilities of the stormtroopers. The Stormtrooper. Oh, he might knock out his own tank destroyer with a Calliope. That's awfully reckless. Looks like Hans is very much intending on getting the Tiger, but again, he needs veterans you want. Otherwise, I mean, a Tiger without veterans you want is actually quite vulnerable to a few tank destroyers basically rolling in. Rockets going in against the Fultz gun. It is again Hans having so much trouble actually holding up that front line. It is so, you know, large, and again, so many things actually make it difficult for him to actually establish a sensible defense without unit space sneaking in and rendering some other parts of it useless. Engineer squad does go down in a blaze of bullets and auto-cannon shells. But again, Hans's force is at the very current moment not too strong. We're seeing a stormtrooper squad being detailed down there to secure some territories there. Making a run for the victory points. Hans still holding the majority. Another Goliath. Come on, Hans. Sturmgewehr. Tiger, though, rolling out. And first shot misses terribly. Oh, might get sticky bombed. That would be absolutely rubbish. Second hit also misses. Or second shot. But there you go. Victory point down there secured. Rather than taking intense fire from Hans's troops, a punch string actually gets poor Jack. And there we go, the Tiger. No, still doesn't get a kill. Still doesn't get a kill. Come on, Helmut. What have you been drinking? Ooh, looks like a Goliath got another kill. A few wreckages left about to salvage if he so desires. Lots of tank destroyers, no further real Shermans though. But still 3 tank destroyers. I mean, Hans is making a bit of a not so good mistake. He's sending in his Tiger again. Unveteran Tiger. Rushing ahead with little support. In particular, since he ought to know by now there's several tank destroyers about. Of course, he could try and recruit the pack. That would definitely be a very good move to secure the flank of the Tiger to ensure it can't be so easily circled about by tank destroyers and storms. Just keep sneaking about here. Again, Sturmgewehrs would have benefited, but Hans seems to have grown more enamored with the Goliath rather than the Sturmgewehr. Hansi likes his toys, not so much his weapons. Nice button grenade right there. Killing a few riflemen, not doing too much though. But he's getting a few kills as American are blown to bits. And there again, the Calabi Barrage unleashed. Tiger taking a few nasty hits. And still no veterancy for the armor carts or the tanks. But at least he has veterancy too for his infantry. Pack recruit, that's a one down. There we go, we are seeing the assault pushing on. Pack needs to quickly stop, and there we go, he's quickly moving in to hit the flank of the Tiger. And already note, I mean, without Veterans 1, it is so vulnerable to a few tanks, so I was just rolling in. And there we go, Sticky Bomb as well, already down to half health. I mean, the Tiger's not really seen a lot of combat, and already now, in fact, it hasn't killed anything. And there we go, 1 tank destroys down, but I mean, 1 tank destroyer for a Tiger, I mean, that's nothing. In particular, if the Tiger's, you know, only killed 1 guy, basically. I think that might have been one of his own. And there we go, the Tiger is gone, the pack once more exposed. Goliath is rushing in to try and save the day, but needs to be careful. Oh no, he's going to set it off close to his own pack, and he destroys his own pack. Hans, what are you doing? The fury of the Hans is quite devastating. And an armored car lost as well. I mean, this is just slaughter for Hans. I mean, he's doing some damage. I mean, it's not like he's completely being rolled over, but there's so many problems, so many casualties, so many losses. And looks like he's quite intent on getting vengeance for that Tiger. There we go, Heinz fires a Panzerfaust. It is out of control, and then they get crushed. Nicht gut. Stormtroopers want from being immobilized, and again, if they only had assault rifles, I think Hans would be doing better, because then he would be punishing Jolle's infantry a lot more. And again, that would really force more Sherman. And there we go, we actually do see a Sherman. So nice armored composition, although again he did lose all of his tank destroyers at this stage. But not too much of a worry. Stormtroopers getting caught in that Calabi Barrage. 64 victory points to the left for Jolle, and the 2nd Armoured, as the 352nd keeps pushing on. Pioneers sneak up the west flank. Will have already been spotted though by Jolle, and will quickly be decimated if not murdered. Volker's leading a counterattack to protect this bit of territory, which again, which what connects Hans with most of what he has. Already 1 Pioneer squad that went down to the Sherman. Volksgrenadiers suffering brutally. Stormtroopers ready again, and there we go, the Sherman quickly rolling in. Stormtroopers will need to counterattack. No, actually looks like they're trying to protect that victory point, and do so somewhat successfully. And looks like Calabi Barrage will go down straight on the Sherman as well, but to protect those victory points in the center, will Hans be able to salvage? Now, Volksgrenadier squad went down. Manpower blitz. Tiger tank on the way. Will we then finally see some veterancy up for Hansi? Nope, not by the looks of it. Instead, we see another Stug. Stormtroopers holding up here. Another Stormtrooper squad has been summoned in for Hans. to replace the losses he suffered so swiftly as possible. Panzerfaust going off in the rear at the Sherman, except the first one was a dud, which was not too uncommon. This Panzerfaust overall, though, was quite a volatile weapon. I mean, it was easy to use, but it was also easy to get yourself killed with. In fact, there was one case during Volkssturm training where one went off and they lost about 200 men, including the instructors. So, I mean, you know, you actually had to be careful with the Panzerfaust. It was quite a nasty weapon. Pioneer Squad is dying for the fatherland. Still no veterancy, though. Tiger not quite achieving any kills still. But there we go. Tiger actually killing something and not one of its own. That's a small victory. Getting more kills. Hooray, but it's too close. And there we go. Also Stu getting sticky bomb. This is terrible. Tank destroyer rolling forwards. Sherman continues to wreak havoc in the German base. There we go. Tank destroyer down. Troops sneaking in towards the west. Hans, though, not giving up, pushing forwards. And there we go, the Sherman finally dies in a plume of smoke. And looks like another squad went down, another Volkswagen squad leaving, in fact, with only 2 squads of stormtroopers, meaning he also lost the 3rd one. Oh well. Heavy losses for the 52nd and whatever support being sent in by the 2nd Panzer Division. And whatever unit is supplying the Tigers. Could be the Panzer though, most likely, since they had their own battalion. Though not necessarily used for Tiger purposes, but actually used for controlling stuff, like in fact Goliaths. In fact, that was known as a Funkline Battalion. The Panzer had one of those, which was largely equipped with Tigers, but actually also had one King Tiger. And they would then actually remotely control the Goliaths or their bigger friends, the Borgward 4B, which was basically a Goliath the size of a car, actually. Pretty much. In fact, it would be driven to the front line, and then it would be remotely controlled the last bit of the way. So, very fun fact right there. Bomb grenade! Oh! Almost getting, if only they had assault rifles, they might have been able to finish off the job. But Jolle has been pushed back. I mean, he's, you know, taking some losses as well, but overall his force does have a bit more punch. In particular with those 2 Calliopes, including one which is veterancy 3, meaning it can fire very often. And sadly, Hans is not going in, partly again due to the state of his current armor, and again the lack of veterancy, which also renders them quite vulnerable. We might see that Stormtrooper squad here go down, which would be another considerable blow to Helpinghans. Down to 2 men. Run, Fritz, run! Storm Squad getting bombarded while trying to secure that victory point. Storm Squad getting caught! And the final rocket of the barrage takes it out! Oh dear. Talk about poor luck. Rather than advancing, again, desperate fighting towards victory points. Hans is rather close to winning through the victory points, but at the same time he's also close to pretty much just being exhausted, bled out, like a stuck pig.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
And there we go, another manpower blitz, another Stormtrooper squad. Sherman's getting salvaged. Tiger getting outmaneuvered though by the tank destroyer. And that is always bad news. Stuke finding away. Tiger tank down to half health. And a Calliope barrage to seal the deal. Pioneers taking losses, tank destroyers out of control. But the Tiger could go down. Yes, indeed. Oh dear. Again, the lack of veterancy for his armor is not doing Hans any favors. I believe it's time to look at Jolle again. So, some nasty fighting. Hans once more pushed back with nasty casualties, which is generally never that good. More tank destroyers rolling up for Jolle. Stuk rolling back, lots of stuff to salvage for Hans, but can he do it quickly enough before the next wave of assaults? And of course, we've got several stormtroopers, squads basically function as the only thing that can even cause be called a front for Hans at the moment. And even those, I mean, he's lacking on several punch decks right there. Of course, the tank starts going, and there we go again. The Stuk so quickly goes down again. Veterans 1 is absolutely vital when playing as the Wehrmacht. Engineers trying to lay down machine gun rotation, but they actually go down. They get killed by the stormtroopers. And I think Hans actually lost his Panzerschreck stormtrooper squad as well. This is just a nightmare for the poor fellow. Grenades locked. And for now, I mean, for Jolle, it largely comes down to just basically mopping up. Oh, never mind, the stormtrooper squad somehow survived. Small force being sent down here. Again, very lacking in weapons. Another one down instead. And there we go. That 22 rifle held up here in the craters in light cover. Basically able to hold it all up. And just lots of Calliope barrages, tearing out a few more stormtroopers on the retreat. Hans slightly attempting again to go for that manpower blitz and get himself another Tiger. And of course, something Jolle could do is just basically blow up the wrecks. I mean, that is what some high-level players in fact do. They basically blow up the wrecks to deny their opponent that sort of munitions. And of course, we do see a sort of extension in that, to abandoned vehicles in Commandos 2 again. Players will blow them up to ensure they don't fall into the hands of their opponents or can be used by their opponent. That, all in all. And again, there's also, tactics of denial. Rather than getting blasted up. Rather than holding up here, creating a nice blocking position. Helpinghans as stormtroopers making their way forwards. Just briefly looking back at Hans to see. Well, he might be able to get another manpower blitz. He might be able to get a last Tiger. And there we go. It's the last Tiger tank he may well be able to afford. Stormtrooper getting crushed beneath the tank destroyer. Not looking good for these Stormtroopers. And again, the Tiger is very much in his own, very much exposed. Very much without support, and again, could very much well risk getting overwhelmed. And we do see machine gun replacement going up there. Finished up by the Americans. Tanks rolling in, Panzerschreck, and war machine going in. We might see one down. Yes, there we go. Tank destroyer out of control. Will he be able to get the other one in time? Will he be able to buy himself some more time? Get back, but Calliope is going in. We see the Stormtrooper squad almost wiped out. And there we go. Tank out of control. Observation post coming under fire from the Americans. It is being observed and shot at. And Fred and Robert go down. And there we go, several tanks just now prepared from Jolle to basically just hit that Tiger. While more is being salvaged by Helpinghans in a desperate attempt to provide sufficient munitions. Of course, Hans got some time in the world to do this, but of course at the same time his force is so low he really can't hold up too much more. And there go the tank destroyers rolling in again, 3 against a Tiger with no veterans at all. That is likely going to be a win for those tank destroyers, in particular if they can even get to flank. But against one unvetted one, they might not even need to do that. And there you go, one tank destroyer done. We actually see the Jolle is actually pulling them back, interestingly enough. And there we go, Tiger almost down. Another series of Calliope barrages. Fleet bags down, Tiger almost down, troops down, everything down, except Jolle's will to attack. Kampfkraft like to go down there, go Allied War Machine. Panzerschreck managed to knock out the main gun on the tank destroyer. Other one down, buying himself a bit more of respite, but the tank destroyer keeps killing. It crushes the stormtroopers beneath its treads. Bastard. Panzerschreck, time to unpimp the ride. That's the only thing they will be unpimping for the time being. More tank destroyers swiftly moving ahead. Like waves of steel, although quite thin steel. American tank destroyers were never that heavy. Even their biggest one, the M36, basically had the same much armor as a Sherman tank. And more calliope fire. Troops getting murdered. There goes stormtroopers down, bunker down. Pretty much everything is down. The Tiger hiding behind the Reich headquarters. Oh, hello Americans. Please don't shoot. But there is no respite, no sanctuary for it. Stormtroopers trying to do what they can from inside the Reich headquarters. Not entirely sure why they're vacating it all of a sudden. Another Calliope barrage catching the Stormtroopers out in the open. They rush into the Reich headquarters to the safety, but will it be enough as the building is rocketed? There we go. The entire front is quite so much on fire, and Hans is still holding on, still confident in victory apparently. Just speeding things up a bit. There we go, Sherman arriving, tanks are arriving. And there we go, catching it all in a Calliope barrage. Well played, GG, and thanks there from Jolle. And there we go, game over. Jolle played quite nicely, aggressive, kept attacking, of course. I mean, that was rather the main thing. I mean, the obvious thing to point out, of course, would be, simply Hans, not getting any veterans for his army. And of course, that was indeed bad. But of course, there were other problems. Much more deeper ones, and the ones that probably more likely cost a loss for Hans. And what might that be, you think? Again, that was partly, the problem that Hans, for a larger part of the game, had such a huge front line, which allowed Jolle to basically use his aggression to the fullest effect, because, again, Hans couldn't focus his defenses. He couldn't focus his forces. Again, the buildings provided cover from his anti-tank weapons, meaning Jolle could just move around, sneak about, do some damage, pull back. And Hans, again, was, not quite aggressive enough. He should have been focusing on securing this area again, getting a much shorter front line, being much harder to dislodge again, allowing him to, get more out of his defenses. That combined, I think, with too many Goliaths, not enough, assault rifle upgrades for stormtroopers. A medic bunker would also benefited, and, again, then compounded with the lack of veterans for his armor, rather hurt him. But again, it was basically, the inability to secure a shorter, more stable front line for Hans that ultimately now did him in, as that basically allowed Jolle full freedom of maneuver, which is definitely not what you want to give your American opponent. And that, in the end, rather more than anything, led to Hans's demise at the hands of an overly aggressive American player who uses tank destroyers, calibers, and everything else quite well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, why not subscribe? Tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.